Right now, on the frozen edge of Lake Michigan, Milwaukee's baseball cathedral is being opened from the inside, not to be demolished, but to be reborn. With a roof that moves like a steel monster weighing as much as the Eiffel Tower, facial recognition entry gates, a food truck park in the upper deck, and a history marked by a deadly crane collapse, this stadium is becoming far more than just a place to play ball. It's a $600 million balancing act between nostalgia and reinvention, local pride and futuristic tech, fan loyalty, and cold political deals. And as the snow melts and Milwaukee's festival season returns, one question remains. Is this the city's proudest revival, or just another deal that left taxpayers with no seat at the table? Either way, it's time to step inside into what's meant to be one of the boldest moves Major League Baseball has seen. Baseball in Milwaukee has always been more than just the game. It's about identity, pride, and keeping the Brewers where fans believe they belong. Back in the 1990s, when aging County Stadium was falling apart, the city faced a difficult question. How do you secure the future of Major League Baseball in one of the league's smallest markets? The answer came in the form of Miller Park, a new ballpark with one headline feature: a massive, fan-shaped retractable roof. It was bold, it was expensive, and it promised to keep baseball alive in Wisconsin regardless of the weather. Miller Park opened in 2001 after a turbulent planning period marked by political fights, construction delays, and even tragedy. On July 14, 1999, during roof construction, the massive Big Blue crane collapsed while hoisting a 450-ton steel panel. The disaster killed 3 workers and injured several others, halting construction for months. Lawsuits followed, along with extensive redesigns to ensure the retractable roof could be built safely. The incident not only delayed the project, but also left a lasting scar on Milwaukee's baseball history. But when the ballpark was finally completed, it was nothing short of striking. The fan-shaped roof, made up of 7 giant panels, could open or close in less than 10 minutes, ensuring games would never be rained out. Inside, the design combined modern amenities with traditional charm: natural grass, wide concourses, and improved sightlines compared to County Stadium. With a capacity of over 41,000, luxury suites, and family-friendly spaces, Miller Park instantly stood out as one of the most innovative stadiums in Major League Baseball. 2 decades later, however, American Family Field, renamed after a corporate sponsorship deal in 2021, was showing its age. The retractable roof required expensive upkeep. Mechanical systems were outdated. Concourses and restrooms felt cramped compared to newer ballparks. The stadium that once represented the future of baseball risked falling behind. For the Brewers, the problem was urgent. Without investment, they risked losing competitiveness in fan experience, revenue, and ultimately, their home in Milwaukee. Other teams had already pushed cities into building entirely new venues. The Brewers chose a different route. Instead of starting over, they pursued a comprehensive renovation plan to extend the stadium's life for another quarter century. The political process was anything but smooth. Lawmakers sparred over how much the state, county, and city should contribute. After months of negotiations, a deal was struck in December 2023. It drew praise from some as a victory for keeping baseball in Wisconsin, and criticism from others who saw it as yet another burden on taxpayers. But either way, the deal cleared the path for one of the most extensive renovation programs in Major League Baseball. And this time, the upgrades weren't just about keeping the lights on. They are about reimagining what a ballpark could be for the next generation of fans. But how do you modernize a 24-year-old stadium without tearing it down? How do you blend engineering fixes with fan-first innovation, all while keeping the Brewers on the field each summer? The answers would emerge as one of the most ambitious renovation programs in Major League Baseball history began to unfold. The renovation of American Family Field officially began in late 2023, but unlike the dramatic ribbon cuttings of new stadiums, this project started quietly, with work hidden in the bones of the building. The first wave of upgrades focused on infrastructure, those critical systems that fans rarely see but depend on every game. Old broadcast cabling, dating back to the late 1990s, was stripped out and replaced with modern lines capable of handling today's high-definition and digital production demands. Boilers, chillers, and massive air handling units were swapped out to improve climate control across the stadium's 1.2 million square feet. Parking lots and elevators were refurbished, and the retractable roof, still one of the most complex in Major League Baseball, received essential maintenance. At 12,000 tons of moving steel, spanning more than 8.5 acres, the roof isn't being rebuilt, but constant upkeep is required to keep its 7 fan-shaped panels gliding on giant bogey wheels. That maintenance alone cost nearly $375,000 each year. By early 2025, crews had also begun winterizing the ballpark, with systems designed to keep the interior a steady 68 degrees during Wisconsin's coldest months.
We want to make this a year-round destination. Winterization, obviously, is going to be a big component and a good driver of people coming here.
Alongside these invisible fixes, the Brewers rolled out a set of fan-facing improvements. Express lanes will speed up security for fans without bags, while a new biometric go-ahead entry system will let season ticket holders enter using facial authentication.
Thought this was an opportunity to create a magical ballpark entry experience.
On the left field loge level, an entirely new space is built, the Alley, a food truck-themed park with 4 vendor stalls and a bar, designed to give the stadium a festival atmosphere. The home plate team store was expanded, adding a customization corner where fans can design their own jerseys. And in the right field terrace, more than 1,600 seats were removed to make way for expanded team offices. Even premium areas weren't overlooked, as kitchens and restrooms on the club level were upgraded to modern standards. But the most ambitious work still lies ahead. Over the next several off-seasons, crews will continue to modernize concourses and restrooms, upgrade video and audio systems, and further expand public gathering areas. In early 2025, the Stadium District approved a $30 million plan, including $10 million for new public plazas, large fan zones designed for both game day energy and year-round community use. Technology will continue to play a central role. The Brewers are exploring further broadcast and scoreboard enhancements, building on the stadium's current 12,077 square foot LED board in center field, already one of the largest displays in Major League Baseball. Seating reconfigurations are also on the horizon, aimed at improving sightlines and comfort, while concourse expansions will finally address one of the stadium's biggest flaws, its narrow, congested walkways compared to newer parks. All of this work is being done in carefully planned phases, timed to the MLB calendar so the stadium remains open during each season. The approach requires a delicate balance, renovating a massive ballpark while still welcoming nearly 42,000 fans each summer. By the late 2020s, American Family Field will be a hybrid of old and new, the familiar fan-shaped roof still framing the skyline, but almost everything beneath it rebuilt for a new era. But the real weight of this renovation is measured in dollars and in who pays them. And that question has made this project one of the most debated investments in Wisconsin's history. The story of American Family Field has always been inseparable from the question of money. The original stadium rose on the back of a 5-county sales tax, a special 0.1% tax added to every purchase in Milwaukee, Waukesha, Ozaukee, Washington, and Racine counties. For nearly 20 years, residents paid a fraction of a cent more on groceries, clothing, or household goods, all to cover the cost of building a ballpark. It raised more than $600 million before finally expiring in 2020, leaving behind a legacy of resentment even as it kept Major League Baseball in Wisconsin. Now, history seems to be repeating itself. The current renovation, totaling more than $600 million, is financed through a delicate balance of public and private dollars. The state of Wisconsin is contributing $411 million, the city and county of Milwaukee are adding $135 million, and the Brewers themselves have pledged at least $100 million. In return, the team is committed to remain in Milwaukee until 2050. Supporters argue the deal is a triumph, securing jobs, preserving tax revenue generated by tens of thousands of fans each season, and ensuring the Brewers remain woven into the cultural fabric of Milwaukee. Critics see it differently, calling the package corporate welfare, Another example of taxpayers footing the bill for billion-dollar sports franchises. For every fan excited about new concourses and a food truck park, there is another resident who wonders why schools and roads face budget cuts while the stadium receives hundreds of millions. The future, of course, remains uncertain. Rising construction costs and shifting political winds could reshape how future phases unfold. But for now, the Brewers have secured their home, and Milwaukee has secured its team. In the end, this project isn't just about bricks, steel, or even baseball. It's about identity, loyalty, and the price a community is willing to pay to keep its traditions alive. Whether history remembers it as a wise investment or a costly gamble, one truth is already clear. American Family Field will stand as the centerpiece of Milwaukee baseball for decades to come. Ready to be amazed by the next groundbreaking construction project? Click on the video now and dive into a world where engineering and imagination collide. See you there.